of 810.
All right.
All right.
Fair enough. Thanks very much, Mitesh, for that. We'll keep coming back to you. We've got accelerated selling, as we were talking about some trades coming in from Mitesh as well. Commodities in focus. Manisha is here with what is top of mind today. Manisha, hi, morning.
Morning, Prashant. Thank you for that. Well, the strength in crude oil continues, but can't say the same about the metal prices, where we have seen declines continue today as well. Just before we get to talk about 2023, talk about 2022. And we started the year with a pent-up demand after COVID. This is the time that you started the global trade coming back in market as well. And there was demand from energy transitions, especially for metals like copper, aluminum, nickel, etc. And then came the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which also led to supply disruption concerns. And that took many of these metal prices on the higher side. Add to that the fact that you also were looking at power crisis in Europe, and that led to higher cost of production for many of these metal prices. The second half of 2022 was absolutely different from what we saw in the first half, which, by the way, also saw multi-year highs and all-time highs in many of these metals. The second half saw strength in US dollar after the central bank started to raise rates. That weighed on many of these metals as prices. And then it was recession fears in major economies. The economic data started to come in on the weaker side, and the weak Chinese demand also weighed in on many of these metal prices. I especially want to talk about copper and aluminum today, and what we are looking at in 2023 is a lot of these uncertainties, and add to that the macroeconomic data. That is something that the street will keep an eye on. And the other rhetoric or the point that the street will watch out for is the origin and carbon footprint for many of these commodities. This is about copper, where we have come down considerably, but the new projects could lead to supply deficits. This is going to be a third straight year, the 2022, that you are looking at copper deficits, and tight markets could be becoming a new normal, is what the street is getting into 2023 with. This is the report card of what copper has done in 2022. We saw 10,800 of an all-time high. We did see prices decline to 7,000 as well in the month of September, currently trading at around 8,500, with nearly 15.5% of decline for the copper prices for 2022. There comes aluminum, which did gain 60% between December 2021 to March 2022. And we made an all-time high into this one as well at $4,000 per ton, saw a decline to 2,000 and currently trading at around 2,400. So clearly quite low from where we saw an all-time high in the month of March. This one as well is down nearly 16% for the year 2022. What the markets are now looking at is the fears of Russian supply disruption and China capacity cuts that would continue to support the markets. Also, the Europe energy crisis has led to 1/3 of cut in production already, and the markets do believe that the closures could continue in the first half of 2023 as well. The weak macroeconomic outlook and rising inflation are some of the other factors which continue to weigh onto these markets. But having said that, when you look at the overall metal pack and the kind of banks and brokerages queues that are coming in for 2023, copper, aluminum could be your best performers as well going forward in that year.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Let's talk about some buzzing stocks as well. Granules is in focus. Ekta is here to tell us why. Ekta, over to you.
Thanks for that. Well, yes, I am looking at Granules in today's trading session. That is because they have announced that they have hired a new CFO. So it seems as though